What if I told you there's an entire industry worth hundreds of billions of dollars that most people have never heard of? An industry where I've spent nearly 2 decades building my career and I discovered it completely by accident. I'm David Bourne, and if you're considering a career in licensing, this video is exactly what you need to watch. I'm going to tell you the real story of how I found my way into this industry, what I wish I'd known from the start, and why now might be the perfect time for you to explore licensing as a career path. Here's how it all began. Almost 20 years ago, I was working in a role that I didn't really like. And after a run-in with my boss, I decided to start looking for other opportunities. I came across this job posting that mentioned brand licensing. To be completely honest, I had zero clue what that meant, but I needed a change, so I applied anyway. Things moved really quickly. I was asked for an interview the day after I applied. So there I was at this office that looked like nothing I'd ever seen before. There were cartoon characters everywhere: SpongeBob, Spider-Man, Homer Simpson, toys, posters, merchandise covering every surface. My first thought was, what kind of business is this? Well, I got hired, and on my first day, I realized I'd stumbled into something truly incredible. Here I was, surrounded by colleagues who spoke this completely foreign language. They talked about royalty structures, territories, product categories, brand guidelines. I spent those early weeks and months just trying to keep up, pretending I understood terms I'd never heard before. The truth is, I was pretty intimidated. Everyone seemed to know exactly what they were doing, while I was still figuring out the basics. What's a minimum guarantee? How do you calculate royalty percentages? How did Dora the Explorer get on that toothbrush? But slowly, things started to click. I began to see the bigger picture of what we were doing. We were helping owners of some of the greatest brands in the world expand their reach without the risk and investment of manufacturing. We were connecting property owners with companies that had the expertise to bring products to market. We were creating partnerships that benefited everyone involved: the brand, the manufacturer, and ultimately the consumer. The more I learned, the more fascinated I became. This wasn't just about putting logos on products, it was strategic business development. It was about understanding markets, consumer behavior, retail dynamics. It was about building relationships and negotiating complex deals. The more I learned about the licensing industry, the more it struck me how diverse the business is. You could specialize in entertainment properties, work with fashion brands, focus on sports licensing, or help small businesses monetize their intellectual property. You could work agency side, representing multiple clients, or in-house, managing owned properties directly. You could become a product developer, royalty specialist, account manager, marketing assistant, or even start your own licensing business. The skills that mattered weren't what I expected either. Yes, business knowledge was important, but so was creativity, communication, attention to detail, and the ability to see opportunities others might miss. Over the years, I've had the privilege of working on deals across multiple industries and continents. I've seen how licensing can transform businesses, create new revenue streams, and open doors to markets that would otherwise be impossible to enter. But here's what I want you to understand about licensing as a career. It's not just about the deals you work on. It's about being part of an industry that's constantly evolving. New technologies create new opportunities. Emerging markets offer fresh possibilities. Consumer trends drive innovation in ways that keep this business exciting. The challenge when I started was that there weren't many resources available. No comprehensive courses, no clear career pathways, no mentorship programs. Most of us learn through experience, trial and error, and the generosity of colleagues willing to share their knowledge. Today, things are different. The industry has matured, and there are better ways to learn the fundamentals. But you still need to understand the core principles, how licensing agreements are structured, what terms and conditions matter most, how to evaluate opportunities, and how to build the relationships that drive this business. If you're curious about licensing, if you're looking for a career that combines creativity with business strategy, if you want to work in an industry that's both established and constantly growing, then licensing might be exactly what you're looking for. The question isn't whether there are opportunities in licensing. The question is whether you're ready to learn what it takes to succeed in the industry. That's exactly why I created the Learn to License course, to give you the foundation I wish I'd had when I started, to help you understand not just what licensing is, but also giving you the information you need to get the head start I never had when walking into that very first job interview. Your licensing journey begins with understanding the industry, and who knows, you might just discover the career you never knew you were looking for. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to hear more from me, make sure to like and subscribe. And if there's a topic you'd like me to cover, let me know in the comments.